I'm Rachel, lead engineer on Spark, or maybe lead plumber is more accurate according to David this morning. Last year at Sync, we first announced Spark. I distinctly remember sitting in the audience and listening to Kevin talk about the roadmap and the timelines and thinking to myself, we have a lot of work to do. We promised Spark would be the fastest, cheapest, and most UX-friendly way to build financial apps and issue assets on Bitcoin. Over the last year, we worked relentlessly to perfect this protocol and make that vision a reality. Today, Spark's mainnet is live, shipped faster than anyone thought possible, myself included. Spark is lightweight, efficient, and designed for developers who want to move fast without compromising Bitcoin's core strengths. We created two SDKs, a wallet SDK that enables builders to create Bitcoin-native wallets in minutes. You saw a few examples of those earlier. And an issuer SDK, which enables minting, sending, and managing Bitcoin-native assets directly on Bitcoin. Let's take a look at some of the magic that's already happening with just these two building blocks. Pretty impressive, right? And yes, it is the same video as earlier, but it's still impressive. The most impressive thing, though, for me about Spark so far has actually been the level of traction we're already seeing. Looking at some of our month-over-month growth rates, we've got 90% in active wallets, 251% in TPV, and 261% in number of transactions. We knew we were building something to solve real problems, but seeing that reflected in real time so early on has been really incredible. Okay, this isn't the deck breaking, but hopefully it gives you some idea of what our day-to-day life looked like over the past year. We broke things all the time, because building on the hardest money ever is, well, hard. There's no customer services for Bitcoin, no central authorities you can call when things aren't working right. Even ChatGPT couldn't solve all our problems. But these challenges have been a constant reminder of why what we're building with Spark is so important. It took thousands of hours of work, endless commits, rigorous testing, a talented team, and a lot of sleepless nights. Trust me. We realized there would be no shortcuts, but we were hyper-focused on making this dream a reality. Through all this, we created an entirely new way to build on Bitcoin. And we've opened the door to endless ways that Bitcoin can be used to move money. As you all know, we were extremely intentional in our choice to build on Bitcoin. We believe the future of payments is open. With Spark, we focused on creating the strongest, most unopinionated network and tooling to make that possible. Or in other words, primitives for money. We're agnostic and open about what people do with the network. We just focus on giving them the tools to build. So first, let's talk about the network. We delivered a new kind of L2, a network that interoperates with Bitcoin L1 and with Lightning. We abstracted away the complexities of Lightning so users don't have to worry about things like liquidity management or channel force closures, while still leveraging Bitcoin's trustlessness to keep the protocol as trust minimized as possible. Moving money on Spark means moving real Bitcoin. No wrappers, just the same exact assets that are used on L1. We knew that features like offline receive, which means senders can't claw back funds once they've been sent, and unilateral exits, which means that users can exit to L1 at any point without needing to ask permission or rely on anyone, would be critical aspects to making this successful. We had to make sure Spark meets all the criteria to be considered a Bitcoin Layer 2 network. In addition to Bitcoin, we're bringing Bitcoin-native assets to the network. We created the Bitcoin Token Protocol, known as BTKN, and this protocol enables programmable assets and ultra-fast, fee-less transfers. For the first time ever, we're unlocking tokens and stables for developers to mint, issue, and trade in a scalable way on Bitcoin. Earlier this year, we announced USDB as one of the first stablecoins on Spark and Bitcoin. And coming soon, we'll be announcing some of the world's most used stables on Spark, opening even more use cases for the biggest network in the world and bringing access to billions of people globally. I mentioned this earlier, but it's worth reiterating that as an open network, we're unopinionated on the assets that people create. This means meme coins, governance tokens, and utility tokens. In short, we give builders a platform to express themselves. Experimentation like this also helps bring durability and stress testing to the network. But these assets won't just create themselves. So we focus on ensuring developers have everything they need to get started. We built all the acronyms, from CLIs to APIs to SDKs and a plethora of tooling, all in multiple languages, enabling the tens of thousands of developers working with Spark to get up to speed and ship fast. As I said, our goal was to create the best developer experience possible. Before Spark, building on Bitcoin was ultra niche, extremely technical, and the talent pool for Bitcoin devs was pretty small. We saw this as an opportunity to really redefine the entire end-to-end experience of building on Bitcoin. We wanted to create an experience that wasn't just for niche developers, but something that anyone with access to the internet could do. We call this the builder experience, and anyone can be a builder. It's an evolution of DevX, UX, tooling, and distribution. With Spark, we're fundamentally changing how people build and ship apps on Bitcoin. Faster, simpler, and more accessible than ever. It's been a lot of work, and we're nowhere near finished. But I'm so excited to see the potential of all of this coming to life. Now I'll hand it over to Alex to walk us through the ecosystem. Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel. Hey, everyone. I'm Alex, and I lead design for Spark. Today, I'm going to be talking about the ecosystem. It's been so crazy to watch a network grow at such an insane pace. Every time I scroll through X, I see something new being built, and cool tweets about Spark are the only metric I use to define success. I'm joking, but in all seriousness, it's clear the world of finance is changing, fast. Networks like Spark are at the bleeding edge and can no longer be ignored. It's been so fun to work with all the teams, companies, and projects who have already been building on Spark. Every day it's something different. We knew that creating a prosperous, vibrant ecosystem was not something that could be done in isolation. As all of you here know, you cannot build a network alone. So it was essential that we crafted a brand that resonated with communities of builders from every corner of finance: wallets, banks, exchanges, trading platforms, remittance apps. Many of these builders have been burned by the false promises of new networks and layer 2s in the past. They just kind of went away and have nothing to show. So we had no choice but to deliver on our promise, to redefine what it means to build on Bitcoin. By focusing on builders, we were able to create this incredible network of partners. And together, we're really showing the world what's possible when you build on something open. I like to think of the ecosystem as an atomic model. At the center of everything, you have the Spark protocol, the nucleus. Surrounding that is a layer of infrastructure and tooling that lay the foundation for building on Spark and enabling the builder experience that Rachel talked about earlier. The Spark protocol, combined with these tools, make it a cheat code to bring the best UX to Bitcoin. The next orbit is a layer of distribution. We have onboarded and partnered with the biggest wallets on Bitcoin, giving the network instant access to millions of users and tons of liquidity. In doing so, we learned so much about the different ways you could integrate Spark. Sometimes it was retrofitting a layer 1 wallet that just wanted to tap into the Spark ecosystem. Others wanted to use Spark for its native Lightning interoperability, as it's the most dead simple way to add Lightning to your product. Then my personal favorite, the net new Spark wallets, who utilize Spark's full stack, creating experiences on Bitcoin that were never before possible. The final orbit is a layer of innovation and magic, the apps being built on Bitcoin. And for the first time, snappy, modern financial experiences are being built on the mother chain. Experiences that were previously only possible on networks like Solana. This layer grows every single day. Now, we will drill into a few and see what is actually being built on Spark. Let's start with stablecoin as a service providers, like Braille, who allows any company or developer to issue their own stablecoin just as easy as launching a token. Modular wallet infrastructure providers, like Privy. We saw that sick demo from Henry earlier, and Privy is allowing developers to seamlessly onboard users, embed wallets, sign transactions, and integrate Spark basically everywhere, all through one simple API. Privy is really unlocking the next generation of wallets that can be completely abstracted into your existing user accounts. We have market makers like Flashnet, who are powering the largest trading platforms on Spark, enabling instant on-chain swaps in any app, and bringing insane activity to the network. Partners like Dynamic are creating the ability to connect a Spark wallet to any other app on the internet, all through one unified interface, bridging the gap between Web 2 and Web 3 experiences. Tether's wallet development kit has added Spark as a core part of their stack, giving builders everything they need to create secure, production-ready wallets on the same infrastructure that's powering billions of Tether transactions every day. Cross-border payment apps, like Guap, use Spark for low-fee, instant stablecoin payments across borders, making global money movement feel local. And Wallet of Satoshi, the world's largest Lightning wallet, uses Spark to achieve self-custody at scale, allowing them to enter the US market for the first time ever. They said it was the lowest lift, highest impact decision they have ever made. Then, of course, DeFi wallets, like Xverse, delivering Spark in every form factor, iOS, Android, Chrome, and desktop, bringing native experiences to users everywhere. Xverse was able to integrate Spark and roll it out across all of its platforms in like less than a month. And apps for completely new use cases, like BitBit, who built the first Bitcoin tipping app, integrated natively on X, letting users tip with sats, stables, or any token, just as easy as liking a post. It's insane how such a small team was able to ship so fast and gain massive traction overnight. And that only scratches the surface of what's live on Spark now. And it's real, and it's happening, and people are building products for basically every use case for money. You may not yet be familiar with all of the projects mentioned, but they are part of a thriving ecosystem that is playing a pivotal role in the future of finance. And I know it can sound a bit far-fetched to say that everyone's a builder, but with Spark, they actually are. It's just so exciting, and it's really starting to scale. Speaking of scaling, I'm going to scale myself up and hand it over to the tallest CTO in the industry, Kevin, who's going to tell you about what Spark's building next.
Thank you, Alex. As Alex and Rachel mentioned, we have been working on Spark for the last year, and we've been working really hard. I think we've done a lot. But we also realize there's a lot more to go. And the things that we're developing now are going to be massive unlocks for opportunities for all of you in this room. So without further ado, let's dive into some of the things that are coming up next on Spark. First off, we know how important it is for all of you to be able to monetize your apps and charge fees. So we're introducing a native fee API, which will allow you to do that in a really clean, simple interface. Key management. We know that it's vital for your users to have the utmost security while still being able to recover those keys if something goes wrong. So we're building user-side MPC to meet that end goal. Privacy. Now this is always a bit of a hot button issue. And we feel that privacy is absolutely vital. And we want to make sure that we're doing it in a way that isn't fake privacy, but is actually true privacy. So if you look at what we have today, it's largely equivalent to Bitcoin Layer 1, where you can see the transactions, you can do dynamic addresses, but everything's visible. The next step, we do confidential transactions, which allow you to hide the amounts that are being sent with tokens. From there, we're going to go to full privacy, where you can actually choose to hide or not hide whatever you want to. There's always this meme on Bitcoin that you just can't do programmability. doesn't have the same level of expressivity that other chains have. We're going to turn that narrative on its head and give Bitcoin everything that's possible anywhere else and much more. We also know that it's really important for you to be able to move assets between chains and do that in a self-custodial way where users can do it on an atomic swap between chains. We're going to be exposing that functionality shortly as well. We're also building something that we call Accelerator. Sounds like a really cool Fast and the Furious type of thing, right? Well, it is cool. If you look at depositing to Spark right now, you can do it instantly through Lightning. But if you want to do it through Bitcoin, it's going to take you 3 to 6 blocks to wait for confirmations to happen. Could be 30, 60 minutes. We're going to make it so that you can do deposits instantly. So that when you have the use case that you want to partake in, you can do that immediately. Finally, advanced issuer tooling. We know how important it is for issuers to be able to have fine-grained controls, things like token whitelists, or like what David mentioned earlier in terms of stable change, where you can charge certain fees on each transaction that happens, or you're able to actually give rewards on each transaction that happens. We're also going to be exposing things like NFTs. Anything that you might want to do as an issuer, we plan on exposing to you. And we're going to do that in the simplest APIs that you can possibly ever use. Our goal here is to make it so that it doesn't take months to do an integration, but just hours. We want it to be the simplest integration that you've ever done before. And we're working with really amazing partners like Breeze and others who are helping us along on that journey. Because we want you to be able to build anything on Bitcoin. And more importantly, build anything with money. And when you look at what we've talked about today, we've talked about Spark, we've talked about Grid, we're going to combine those into something that is vastly superior to the sum of their parts. You can take the great things about Spark, instant settlement, being able to issue tokens, extremely low fees, combine that with the amazing things of Grid, fiat money movement, being able to connect the globe, and you have something incredibly powerful. So let's look at what that might look like, just a few examples here. So today, you probably can only serve customers in certain countries. With self-custody accounts and stablecoins, you can expand your reach to something truly global, where you can have customers that effectively have US dollar-denominated bank accounts globally. Or how about Bitcoin rewards? David mentioned this earlier today. It's a use case that is gaining a lot of popularity with Coinbase and others. And for good reason. People want to hold Bitcoin. They see it as a way to accumulate wealth. You can now issue Bitcoin rewards instantly, any amount, to any user. Or how about the creator and gig economies? They're absolutely exploding. And people want to get paid. They want to get paid in stablecoins, in fiat, in Bitcoin, and other cryptos. In just a few lines of code, you can now do payouts to anybody. Or how about even buying and selling Bitcoin? Of course, you'd never actually want to sell Bitcoin, but you definitely want to buy more. So whether that's a single-time purchase, recurring buys, dollar cost averaging, again, just 1 or 2 functions, and you've got a key differentiator between yourselves and your competitors. You look at these things combined. We're forming a new ecosystem of things that you couldn't easily do before, unlocking new potential. And we're doing that with all of you. It's Spark, it's Grid, it's Bitcoin, it's fiat, it's the future of money. And again, I just want to thank all of you for being part of this journey with us. We couldn't build a network without all of you in this room and many others. It creates a groundswell of things where we can now unlock new use cases together. So after this, we're going to, I believe, head over to the other building for my favorite time of day where we have ice cream. So everybody go get some ice cream, and then we're going to have breakout rooms. Thank you all again.